Who's ready to see something that's not deadlifts and overhead? I am. This is the 18th of February, and started off with some squats. And after the squat challenge, I just really wanted to get back to some squats and the regular routine. So Glen started us off here. He is going to be doing 5x5 with 315. As I mentioned, he did attempt the squat challenge. However, the cardio aspect of it did him in, but he is still wanting to continue his programming, although he ended up, after some rest and coming back in it, getting a total of 25 reps. He still wanted to do 315 again and do 5x5. So that's what he did. But you can see here, first set, not so great. He was falling forward a little bit, so we got to work on that. And tonight is my 1 plus, so it's 5, 3, 1 plus, and started off with 335 pounds, doing this for 5, and feeling pretty good. Having last week off due to Glen being sick definitely gave me a deload that I wasn't planning on having, although I only missed the 5s night, which is somewhat like a deload for me anyways. And here is Glen's second set, and one of the things you'll notice is how much better that was. Look at that. He actually drove his back into the bar, he stayed upright, and that's what we want to see. And he's continuing that into the third rep, just really making sure that he's not falling forward. And even the fourth rep, which traditionally is where he ends up falling forward, he managed to do that really well. And there we go. All 5 reps really clean. So just from the first set to the second set, it was a tremendous difference. And that second set is what we like to see. Now on to my second set here, 380 pounds. This is just 3 reps. Again, just feeling really good. Everything's clicking really good. Feeling decent. So nothing really to say on this one. Although I'm not quite as fast as I would like to be. Oh well, right. You know, I'm slow anyways. Fat and slow. It's just how I go through life. I know it's not the way I should, but it's the way I do. Back to Glen over here on his third set. Really looking good. You can see he's got some decent bar speed coming out of the hole there and finishing up. And there is that sticking point, but he's going through it pretty well. And he is, again, keeping his back up, driving into the bar on this set, looking a lot better than that first set. So overall, I think that he's got it at this point in the workout. And, you know, every once in a while I have to yell at him to drive or something like that. But it's looking pretty good. This is going to be my 1 plus set with 425. Wasn't sure how many reps I was going to be able to do here, but first one felt pretty good. Second one was a little bit harder, but there was no way that I was only going to do 2 reps on my 1 plus. And third rep was pretty slow. I thought about it for a second, and I put it back. Now, the reason I put it back there wasn't because I didn't think I could. It's because I really wanted to do some singles afterwards, and I decided to leave some energy for it. Now, some people have different mentality. Maybe they want to push it and go till failure, but I wasn't 100% sure that I could have done that 4th rep with clean form, so I called it there to allow myself to get some singles in. And if I decided not to do singles, I would have gone ahead and pushed for that 4th rep. Glen now on his 4th set, still looking a lot better than his first set. But if you notice, he really slows down and pauses at the bottom. Now remember that, because we're going to talk about it in a second. So here's that single that I was talking about. Put 470 pounds on the bar and wanted to see how this would go for me. And that felt pretty good, and that actually moved pretty fast for me. Not fast for a lifter, but fast for me. So I talked to Glen about how he has been slowing himself down at the bottom, and I told him just try and do something a little bit different. So his first rep, he slows himself down. You saw that he slows down on the bottom and then comes up. So he convinced himself, I'm going to try it, and just bounce. And it went up a little bit faster. And he tried it again. Did you see him laugh? It's because it was so much easier. He's been fighting himself this entire time on squats by not using the stretch reflex. He just can't believe how easy it is right now.
Made it so much easier, didn't it?
Look at that! Look at that smile. Yeah, he figured it out. So we'll see. That might have been a breakthrough for Glen, realizing to use the stretch reflex is amazing, and there's nothing in powerlifting causing you to stop at the bottom. So I tried 470 again for a single, and look at that. I got it. That, for me, is the most I've ever been able to do in a single session. I have never been able to do 470 twice in a session, or anything over that twice in a session. So that was really good for me. And back offset now with 225. Glen is going for 10 plus reps here. And you can see he's practicing that whole not stopping, not slowing down on the bottom, using that stretch reflex. It's just really allowing him to actually use the power that he has. But as he starts breathing heavier, he's going to end up reverting back to that and slowing down a little bit. But it is 225. You know, this is mostly just practicing the form, ironing it in, trying to work on endurance a little bit, and of course hypertrophy, trying to build a little bit bigger quads, as this is something that we don't do a lot of. So 10 plus sets, I think, has been helping in the last couple weeks, but I definitely like it. Unfortunately for me, I actually hit 20 reps on my last squat session that I actually did, so I decided it was time for 245, and this just felt so light on my back. I was really hoping for good things, but didn't quite get to 20 on this. But it was, again, time to move up. I was thinking about just doing 235, but I went for 245. So I'm going to use this weight again at the end of every squat workout until I hit 20, and then I'm going to go ahead and up the weight 20 again. Just keep working on this, trying to get better at reps. And this is also a little bit of cardio, so I think that will be very good for me, help me in the strongman competition, being a little bit more physically prepared, a little bit of GPP in there, as well as my squat technique. But one of the things I have to be careful with is when I start breathing heavy. For those of you who watch Squat Challenge saw this, my technique starts to break down. I'm not as steady. I'm not able to keep that core as tight. Now we move over to the bench, which this is going to be, for me, a bench session full of fail, and for Glen, this is a really good bench session. So what we decided to do is just kind of work heavier than we have, not really have any reps in mind, but stay at 3. If we hit 3, go up. If we don't hit 3, but we still get at least 1, go up. So Glen got 2 sets in here. He went 255. Now this is 265. I did warm up with the 255 as well, but I did not record it as that was not a working set for me. So this is my first working set at 285, and I can tell you this felt terrible. Just slow. It was heavy. I hate the bench press. I need to figure something else out. I used to really like benching when I started lifting. I haven't liked benching since I kind of dropped it out and started focusing on strongman. So I've lost something. I'm not sure if it's positioning or what, but going to be working on the bench press form, trying to figure out something, because it's bad. Glen now 275, and he's just rocking that. I mean, he is doing really well. I think he is back to being able to bench what he was before he left off. We'll see. I think we're going to have him work heavier here in the next couple weeks, see where he's at. And this was 295. 2. That was all I had in me, so that was bad. So now Glen's up to 285. Now keep in mind this is what I started with, and he decided that he was going to head and do this after he's already done 3 sets. And although he didn't get 3, he got 2 reps. So he is pretty much where I'm at in terms of strength. I went up to 305. Although the first one was slow, it felt pretty good, and I thought I had a second one, but just lost it. And Glen just totally crooked there, trying to make me drop the bar on my face. Yeah, so we moved over to the slingshot. Again, still trying to get some heavy work on the triceps. Both Glen and I are having issues with our triceps not being strong enough, so this is a really great way to train them. And for those of you who don't have a slingshot, I definitely recommend getting a slingshot, as it does allow you to practice the form of the bench, handle heavier weight, while getting a lot of work on the triceps. So Glen here failed on the last rep, but that was 305, so that was pretty good for him. That is the most weight he has had on the bar, slingshot or otherwise, since he's been back. So I went ahead and put 305 on there for me, and oh man, it just, everything feels so heavy now. I don't know what is going on, if it's the diet, if it was the rotator cuff injury, maybe it healed wrong. I honestly haven't been able to figure it out. Glen decided he wanted to keep the weight at 305 and do another set, try and beat those 2 reps that he got on the first time. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 reps that he got on the first time. And he got it. Just nice 3 reps, 2 sets in a row. That's pretty good. And I decided I wanted to up the weight because I just wanted to get a little bit more training stimulus in the triceps. I'm really not liking them at all. And you can see there that second rep, I'm already struggling, but I decided I was going to do a 3rd rep, and it was a grinder, but it was done. So hopefully my triceps felt that, and they're going to do something. Just something. That's all I ask. Do a little bit of something. And we decided to drop the weight back down to 285, try and get some reps in. But we definitely underestimated how much we've worked. Glen's triceps done there. Just done. So I went and did 285 as well. And you will see, based on the speed alone, my triceps are also done. And I was thinking I was going to be like 8 to 10 reps here. Yeah, that was definitely not going to happen at all. So last thing we want to do, as we've been doing lately, is the burnout set. Burning out everything. So we dropped it to 225 on the bench, and I am kind of surprised how badly we did on this. Maybe we should have dropped it down below 2 plates quite a bit. Maybe like 185 would have been a better idea, because this was actually heavy. You can see Glen failed there. And since Glen tried to kill me, I decided that I was going to do the same thing with him, just not get it in the rack all the way. Yeah. Safety. Yeah, look at our spotters, man. We both are terrible at this. So you can see here, just everything is gone from me. So, you guys watching the videos, if you see anything glaring out that's wrong in my bench, let me know, and I'll try and work on it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing something other than deadlifts and overhead. Go lift something heavy. Take it easy.
Wow.